Hello and welcome to the fantastic city of Las Vegas in Nevada, USA for the 361 World Men's Curling Championship 2018. It's the entertainment capital of the world, giving home to curling yet again, but a first ever World Championship for what many call America's playground. And what better setting is there to host the world's best curling players in the Orleans Arena? It's time for the evening draw, and we'll get started just before the sun sets over the Mojave Desert. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by two-time Olympian Anne Swisshelm. Good evening, Anne.
Good evening, Sander.
Scotland, Japan will play in session 14 as things are really shaping up in the round-robin stages of this World Championship. Seeing the teams enter the field of play. Scotland closely following Canada, Japan in behind. We'll have two pretty young teams feature in our live broadcast this evening. A debut for both, and this is the lineup for Scotland. At lead we have Hammy McMillan. Throwing second stones is Bobby Lammy. At third we have Grant Hardy, and Team Scotland is skipped by Bruce Mowat.
And they will be matched against Koji Nisato at lead, Ryotaro Shikuya at second, Masaki Iwai, he's the skip, he throws third stones, and Go Aoki, he throws the brick for Japan, 18-year-old.
You see the standing Sweden on top with 7 wins. Canada, Scotland and Norway follow closely at 6 wins. So definitely Scotland with pretty much a ticket to the playoffs already if they can pick up another win or two. But Japan all the way down at 2 wins and 6 losses. Of course, an unknown lineup for most. They've impressed by winning 2 games, but they would have to win the rest to have any chance of making it through to the top 6. These are the other games in the arena this evening. Netherlands play Canada. Of course, Scotland and Japan is our main focus, while Germany takes on Korea. Also, Norway will play Switzerland. We'll keep you up to date on what happens elsewhere as we go through the games. 10 ends scheduled for all games this evening. Well, the ice is ready. Teams have had their pre-game practice.
Yeah, we are on sheet B, and after that pre-game practice, Scotland had an extraordinary last stone draw. It is the challenge at the end of each team's practice to see who gets the last stone advantage. And this young team, hard-charging team from Scotland, is absolutely incredible. And there's a couple of Paralympians from Scotland enjoying the match here, cheering them on. And Japan really showing signs of absolute brilliance and becoming used to playing here in an arena setting. This is their first arena championship. This will be a really interesting game. Scotland needs to keep their focus. The playoffs are absolutely within their grasp, and it's not only the top 6 which make the playoffs. The 1-2 spot is available to Scotland if they hold their winning ways. Scotland, they are throwing the Red Rocks today. Japan opens, they're throwing the Yellowstones.
Well, this game is just about to get underway, and it is lead for Japan. Koji Nisato to throw the first stone, 37 years of age. It's a bit of a mix of old and young for Team Japan.
Yeah, they've got a real complement of players spanning a couple of different decades. One of the really unique things about this team from Japan is that they went to university together, veterinary school. an agriculture school in Japan. And you've got 2 veterinarians out on the ice.
Here's a Hammy McMillan, lead for Scotland. Son of world champion with the same name, Hammy McMillan Sr.
Yes, it is a very well-known name, but the young Hammy McMillan, he's doing everything he can to make a name for himself out here at this World Championship.
Yeah, he's played at quite a few different positions up through the years, but seeming to settle in quite nicely at lead for this team. They've been on a roll so far.
Yeah, he has had an outstanding championship. Set the table nicely. Koji Nisato from Japan is going to have his hands full in the head-to-head matchup. Oh, and he answers quite nicely with a draw into the top 8 foot underneath that centerline guard. So for Scotland, one of the things that they've been doing so beautifully throughout this event is taking control of the angles. If they continue to do that, the vision of their skip, Bruce Mowat, just extraordinary. It's all about their setup shots from their front end. It starts right here, and this one comes up a little bit light. A bit of an uncharacteristic miss there for the young McMillan as Ryotaro Shikuya puts his first stone in play. And this is a little spicy. Wanting to freeze right into the stone on the forefoot. Just adrenaline and momentum gets that stone all the way through the back of the house. He'll have to make an adjustment as he goes through. Learn from that first shot.
Yeah. Control. Okay.
There's Bobby Lamie. I'll be looking to tidy things up a wee bit here.
Yep. Let it go. Turn.
Only member of the team that was world junior champion and also Winter University Games winner with Bruce Mowat. Grant Hardy and McMillan coming in later to form this men's team.
Now the Japanese skip, Masaki Iwai, running through a couple of the different options. The setup changed somewhat. Now this is when we see if Ryotaro can make the adjustment necessary for weight. His last one went right through the back of the rings.
See the rules of play. 6 ends is the minimum to be played, although the game is scheduled for 10, 38 minutes of thinking time for both teams. And there's 1/62 timeout you can call if ever in trouble, either needing a second opinion or some extra time on the clock. Again, Bobby Lamie will be running this back, bit more weight this time. Make sure he can spill a few rocks. Just want to keep that forefoot open. It's a pretty good result, even though he takes out his own shot stone.
Yeah, he's shaking his head, but actually look at what is left after this. Double run back, takeout, spills the shooters. that corner guard could come into play. Japan's going to hit to sit 3. But Scotland is not afraid of the opposition rocks. And this one by Masaki Iwai will not deter Scotland from their goal here, which is to score 2 points with that last stone advantage. And there we see it. There's the call. He sees the corner guard. He'll take advantage of it.
It's a lot of ice to me, but I'm not sure. No, I like it.
We'll have our first look at Grant Hardy. 26 years old.
Kill it.
Didn't kill it, man.
You sure?
Didn't kill it.
Okay.
Just good. You can go, Abby. Line's good. You can go away. Really gotta go. Hard then. Top 8, perfect. Line's getting good. Really gotta go. Come on then. Hard. Justin. Justin. All right then. He's full club. Full club.
Full stone in.
Full stone. Hard. Bend it, Abby. Bend it. Hard.
Okay. Think you killed
Did
that.
kill it.
Fucking nice.
So what did he mean by killing it?
I think it's at release, kind of he takes a little bit of the weight off. So he was sliding a little too quickly and decelerated a bit on his release, took some of the momentum off the stone, and he said, I didn't kill it, which meant he didn't take too much off, but it turns out the adjustment was a little much, and Scotland comes up late on that draw. Japan trying to tuck another stone underneath those guards. But with that stagger, Bruce Mount can play a little hit and roll and
Control.
I don't mind this.
Okay. Try and keep it above T.
cause some trouble.
Don't mind hit and roll. Yeah.
I like it.
Control. Yep.
Wait, it's nice. Touch heavy. Heavy. Heavy.
Well, Grant Hardy will
Touch heavy.
try and make up for the first stone. Calling on Lamy to get some extra curl on this one. It's just not going to move enough for Scotland. Sits in the open. Leaves the same hit and roll back for Japan.
Go Aoki. He is the youngest fourth stone thrower in the field, 18-year-old high school student. And he sets up a situation where his team's sitting 4 in the opening end against one of the top performing teams in the field. I was hoping for a roll there.
Trying a little dead buried in the
Right,
middle.
dead buried's perfect there. Dead buried.
Yeah, just a short inch would be the best, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Barriers perfect. Take your hair less? No. Oh, yeah.
Here's Bruce Mount, skip for Scotland.
Nice weight! Weight's good!
Had a cracking start to the season. Went over to Canada, to Oakville. 1-2 tournaments there, undefeated, back-to-back.
Yeah, and then they won just a couple of weeks ago in Aberdeen again. So the bookend of their season would be a stellar performance here at the World Championship. And it might start with a shot just like this. They said they wanted to roll dead buried, and that's pretty much what they did.
Won the right to represent Scotland by first winning the Scottish Championship, also undefeated. They went on to play a challenge versus the Olympic team of Kyle Smith. Won the first one, had an 8-foot draw to win the second, lost that, but won the third game. So best out of 3, wins 2, gets here, and they've done well so far.
The only game they've lost is to the top seeded team currently, Sweden, and that was a 1-point affair, a very back and forth, real close game. So now Go Aoki with a helicopter of a throw on this counterclockwise rotating shot.
Was he throwing that amount of rotation on purpose to try and drag it towards the shot stone?
Yeah, I think so. That one was. You'll notice that he does throw a ton of rotation on that out turn when he throws up weights or that counterclockwise rotation. You see how much rotation he's hoping to hold that rock straight.
Actually touched it, so you curl a fraction less, you probably get that shot stone going. He's had to be pretty snug to the top red.
I take an in. Watching you.
So that leaves a draw
Same way
for Scotland.
10-10. Wait there. I still think we're all there, Bruce. You've got no backing yet. Backing. No backing. T-line. T-line. Still no backing, boys. Yeah, we're fine. Coming down. We're fine. Good, Bruce.
Sweepers seem quite happy with this one. Will settle on the forfeit. 2 points for Scotland. Good start for Bruce Mowat and team. That's the score. 2-0 after one end.
Nice skippers too there.
So that's a couple of dodgy ones there.
Same as Joshua.
The second end is underway. Scotland taking on Japan. Good start for the Scots, scoring 2 in the first end. Hammy Macmillan will throw the first stone in this second end.
Yeah, that opening two absolutely generated by the skips 2 stones. Hit and roll by Bruce Mowat, followed up with the draw to the forefoot. And now this dictates their choices here. They're up in the scoreboard. They want the rocks in the rings.
Well, corner guard up by Japan. Perhaps a tad long, but we'll jump over to Norway, Switzerland in the first end. Looks like Switzerland is lying 3. So this is a nose hit for skip Steffen Walstad of Norway to score 1. Actually looking to play the hit and roll off of the winger here. Can't hit the centerline stone for shot, but this is starting to curl. Vågberg trying to hold it for the skip, but actually over curls so much it's going to leave a steal of 3 for Switzerland. What a mistake by Walstad in the first end. Not a good shot there, and the Swiss are up 3-0.
And on our feature sheet, Scotland's Hammy McMillan set up a perfect guard, and now Koji Nisato needs to navigate around his own corner guard, try and hide a rock in the rings.
Well, the free guard zone is not longer in motion. Scotland looking to keep it simple here. We'll just peel the corner. That is made by Bobby Lammy. There is the coach for the team, Alan Hanna. He's also coaching the Scottish junior team at the World Junior Championship in Aberdeen.
And they had an excellent showing there.
Yeah, picked up the silver medal, just losing out to Canada in the final.
And that's J.D. Lind, coach for Team Japan.
Yes, James Douglas Lind started his coaching career quite early, just out of juniors, moved to Japan. And he's been there for a number of years now, overseeing most of what happens at the top level of curling there, also picking up some glossaries. If we get him for a timeout, we might hear him communicating in a mixture of English and Japanese. Looking for the slash here, Bobby Lammy, quite unfortunate to just jam it. Leaves Japan lying second shot.
And this is the 4th time in a row that Ryotaro throws the in-turn, the clockwise rotating draw. Dragging this one as far as they can, right into the rings. And a great sweep from Nisato.
Yeah.
Nice sweep. Here down. No, he's good. Here down.
So the little run takeout using their own stone. It's a 2-foot run back.
Hard ball. Yep. Okay.
Will make the run back.
And they leave their shooter as a guard.
Netherlands play Canada.
Canada sitting 1 in the back of the 8-foot for Jaap van Dorp.
Heck. Air down. Clean. Heck. Yep. Hard. Hard, Carlo. Hard. Yep, Sam. Hard. Go. Hard.
I was looking to maybe even score a 3 there. But in the end, looks like only the 1. That is the score. 1-0 for Jaap van Dorp. Won't get too many chances like that against Brancusi.
Looking for the skinny hit and stick.
Think so. Think I can shot. Think so, Doug.
Japan trying so hard to get to that stone of Scotland. So that stone that's biting the top of the 4-foot, that was the first rock put in play this end, and it's still there. Hasn't been touched, hasn't been moved.
Scotland will ignore the yellow stone on the wing. Played the draw. Maybe even freeze the yellow stone on the center line here.
Yeah, I think they're called to the back stone. Looking to take those stones out of play by freezing to the back one.
This is way short, so trying to freeze their own instead. It's in the end not a bad result. Would have been a lot worse bouncing off, leaving a double for Japan. So the run double instead for UI.
Yeah, and one of the things you got to like about the Japanese team is they genuinely seem to enjoy the shots they get. Like, no matter how hard they are, no matter the situation, there's lots of smiles. They handle the pressure pretty well, and they are trying to take advantage of this opportunity of learning how to play on arena ice. Sweepers are on this right away. Let's grab the center line. They've lost the line, but they've opened it up.
Same call for Scotland. Freeze that back yellow.
Tell you what, he's no far away from the same throw he gave his last shot.
He is the same throw, I think, Carl, to be honest.
Tell you what, you're pretty much the same throw you gave us.
Yep, same throw as your last. It's good, Bruce.
We'll make it.
Your eyes there.
Lock it right on the back.
Aye.
So is this more about making sure you're not giving up more than 1?
Yeah, they're willing to concede 1. They're willing to give up a single point in order to get that hammer back. They are all about the numbers. That hammer efficiency, scoring 2 points or more when they've got last stone advantage, and forcing their opponents to a single point when they don't.
Let's touch heavy. Back 12. Back 12. Close. It's coming down now. We're still heavy. Still max. Still heavy. Line only. Line only. Line only.
Bump in a foot. Bump in a foot.
Come down. Come down. Good, Bruce.
That's pretty good there by Bruce Mowat.
Yeah, and that's extraordinary communication. All the way down the sheet, back and forth, take nothing for granted. There's no letdown of communication from the Scottish team.
飛ばないと間違えてチップしたりしたら最悪だからね。
まあステイだな。
ステイだね。これはステイだ。この序盤でそれ狙うの危険すぎる。悩むのそんな悩まなくてもいい。そんな悩むシチュエーションじゃない。
だって相手まだワンツースリーでしょ。このドロー見てたら4点目で。
まあダメだ。さすがに厳しいですね。
ああ。
トップで前割ればよくね。ダブルすれば。でいいと思う。それやったらドローは厳しいよちょっと。
ちょっとね。
ドローは厳しいよ。
So after quite a bit of discussion, Japan has decided on the double takeout. There's a couple of options. They're just talking about what's their best way to kind of take some control in this game, generate a couple of points. So Go Aoki wants the double takeout.
Well, this is his controlled weight. And will make the double, sit right on the center line.
Yeah, and now the situation for Team Scotland is if they should have something go wrong with their rock, Japan might have a chance at more than 2 points. It's going to be tough, but when you're playing a great team like the young squad from Scotland, these guys are going to need to come up with some fantastic shot opportunities.
No, they're looking to play the draw. Honestly, I'm not sure if I would dare playing Go Aoki and his upweight ability. Could you not? Maybe just play the hit and roll off the top one? Or would that leave a tap for 2 in the back?
It's possible. They don't want to score 2.
Well, taking the risk here, Bruce Mouat, as we take a look at Netherlands, Canada. It is the Canadians with last stone. A delicate hit for 2, Anne?
Yeah, it is an opportunity for Brad Gushue to get on the board with 2 points in an even end. It's a counterclockwise rotating takeout, just even backline weight. They do have to navigate a center guard. They are playing the board sheet over on A. This spot runs fairly straight, but bends after the hog line. And Jeff Walker going to try and help it bend. Did he get it enough? They do.
Yep, 2 points for Canada. They strike right back. 2-1 lead after 2 ends. As we just saw, Bruce Mouat coming up a bit shy, nudges off the top yellow, sits for 2. Looks like a pretty awkward angle for a double, but is it maybe there for a couple?
Yeah, it might be there for 2. It could be there for 3 if you can somehow stick your shooter. But knowing the weight that Go Aoki throws, well, they're not going to attempt it. They're going to go with the safe option. Not only has Go Aoki had really wonderful up-weight takeouts, he's also made quite a few draws against several points.
Actually, a little bit surprised not to see them give it a go. Felt like it's pretty natural to make the slash for 2.
Yeah, and if you get lucky, you might
I think
get
if
3.
you're lucky, you might even just skinny the back red for 3.
I know they are afraid of going down by 3 points. They know that that is probably game, set, match. So
is this the classic junior restraint, thinking, well, we want to, but we'll try and be smart, draw for our 1.
Well, I think it's let's keep this team as close as possible. And here's that huge finish of that stone. They get it around. They do. And what a draw from Go Aoki right on the lid. This kid is got ice in his veins.
Yeah, that is 1 point for Japan. So after 2 ends of play, it is a 2-1 lead for Scotland here in the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas.
I really good. That way was good. You like that way. You asked me. What are you talking about? Last one 12.
See one. It's good slide speed.
What? Yeah? Oh, it's mental. You're saying that. How does it happen? It's all done, boys. We can use those corners well.
Team Japan gets its going in the third end. You're watching live coverage from the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, World Men's Curling Championship. It's a 2-1 game for Scotland.
Wondering if Grant was going to go for the hit there, move the hammer. His team called him off and said, no, 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 no. Japan's right. We go hard for the 2 points when we have the last stone.
On your brush, short of it. Tight. Just past your brush.
When you can.
When you can. On your net.
Hammy kind of put a little bit of a spin on that. And carried a little farther than it normally does on its own. So the sweepers didn't need it. Didn't need any. Didn't need to help it there.
Koji Nisato will try and protect his shot stone by throwing the guard.
Koji Nisato's pregame warm-up is absolutely intense. He ran lap after lap after lap in underneath the bowl of this arena today in preparation for this game, and it seemed to work out well. Look at that setup.
Well, hopefully he has enough energy to go 10 rounds with Scotland.
And if need be, 11. There's always a possibility of an extra end in this game.
There's a possibility of 2 extra ends even.
Yes, there are.
Don't see that very often though.
You do not.
No, like Bobby only. Top 12. Top 8. Got a lot of curling to do.
Come in now.
No, all Bob.
High.
Looking to come straight around the corner here, Scotland. Ignore those yellow stones, so certainly wanting to push the offense a bit. As we just take a look over at Norway, Switzerland. It's a draw for 3 for Norway to score right back, tie up the game after incredibly a hogged stone, a hog line violation by Mark Pfister on his first one. Was looking to make up for it with a double on his second, couldn't make that, so that leaves Norway scoring 3 if they can make this one. Look pretty happy with it. Just keeping the brushes down. Bring this into the rings, and it's a tied game. 6 points up the board already after 2 ends of play.
And on our feature sheet, some misfortune for Japan. The Japanese stone is open and available for Bobby Lammy to hit. Just half the stone, roll to the other side of the house.
Clean. Well done. Yep. Well done. Hard. Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard.
They just need half that stone
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Good
and a
Bobby.
roll.
Okay, just mid.
So they talked about the weight being just a hair down.
バンパーちょっと見えてないから、
Good shot.
Yeah, shot.
Nose. Same way. Okay.
Fresh right here.
Yeah,
Just get your brace.
Give it a bit more.
Stay more weight. Your mark this time.
So this is the first time we've seen this spot on the ice, this wide
Very good.
takeout.
Hammy.
Weight's perfect.
Really hard. Right to it. Lean. Whoa, whoa. Grab, grab.
Running a little bit straight here. It finishes nicely, especially with that kind of weight. And Scotland can throw really up weight, but they use that control, delicate takeout weight to such success. By using the control weight, they keep their sweepers engaged in all the shots. They can really impact the outcome. And you'll hear that laughter a ton from this Japanese team. And it's got to be such a joy for this Japanese skip to be out here with his university friend, Koji Nisato.
It's going to be slow out here, Grant. I think you're giving us a
Yeah, you know, out here you're
3 solid, I think.
solid 3. You know, keep your brushes down.
I think the points yeah, 3 through with the rushes. Yeah.
If you're 95, you're not bad here though either.
Okay. Yep.
Top it. Hard then. Oh, he's good. Hard then, boys. Hard.
He goes hard. Gotta go all the way. We're really short.
Let go. He's good. Short. Hard. Hard. Anywhere in. Hard. Line's really good.
So Lammy and McMillan working so hard to get paint on this, and for the second time, Grant Hardy comes up a little bit short with that stone. Remember, this was the stone that they said he killed in the first end.
Well, he didn't think so.
Yeah.
Sweepers did.
So now you've got to wonder, a guy who is playing absolutely beautiful curling, He is one of the top performing skips here at the event. I mean, thirds here at the event. Is that rock? Is that rock a little bit slower?
Could be, but it was also a new path they were playing there.
It was a new path.
Something to keep an eye on. Of course, they have the opportunity to match stones in the evening practice the night before.
Yeah, which the Scottish team has their 5th Ross Patterson do with their coaching staff. And they do have the pregame practice, but every now and then a stone can fool you. So that's the situation now.
Yeah.
Can you go under the other yellow fine?
Huh?
Does it go under the other yellow fine?
No. I don't think, well, you won't light in.
Does it go right
Do
under
we
the
hit
yellow?
that yellow? Do we hit the top yellow if we play the roll?
This one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we can't make it then.
Can't play it.
This shot, that's the only shot, I think.
Okay,
Do we
so,
hit off the back of that top yellow?
No, that's nowhere
right,
near.
okay.
Okay.
Fuck me, that was hard.
3/4.
Oh, wait.
Normal.
Control.
Control.
Okay, if you want.
Same ice, though. He's nice.
No, heavy, heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Whoa.
Almost normal.
Whoa. Whoa.
This has been a little bit of a straighter spot in the ice. Do they get the double? Oh, they do not. And they do not roll their shooter on.
3.7から8で針持ってくる。あそこ7がいいかな。7がいいね。
And now with staggered guards on the side of the forefoot, there's an opportunity for Team Japan to tuck a rock underneath that would be difficult to access for Team Scotland.
ちょっと重いな。ちょっと見たいな。ちょっと見たいな。ちょっと重いよ。ちょっと待ちたいな。待ちたい。いや待ちたい。ウェイト待ちたい。ウェイト待ちたい。吐きたくない。吐きたくない。8。8。いやまだまだ待ちたい待ちたい。ゲイ。オッケー。65。止まるね。止まる。あれでも止まる。あれで止まる。でもなんか止まる気配してるね。
So that draw slips just to the back of the forefoot. Scotland's looking at skipper's deuce once again. Bruce Mowat needs to follow that rock down. He'd like to sit above the tee line, fully shot.
Probably a hair more release, same side speed.
Okay, I got 13-1 on.
They're soft. It comes down like hell.
We'll see the rock clock come up on the screen.
Weight's good. Line over the snow.
Talking about the hog-to-hog splits they had on Japan, saying there throws a little bit softer,
Pretty close.
No, can't go, Grant.
meaning with more rotation from Bruce Mowat, might run a bit quicker than Japan. 13.9,
No, can't go.
definitely in the house somewhere.
Never, Bobby.
Might be a bit deep though.
Never
See
go.
the ice tend to quicken up
Thanks, buddy.
after a few ends, but that is pretty good by the skipper.
Yeah, and great judge by Hammy McMillan, knowing that that rock was there all on its own. And when your third comes up a little short on his shots, that's the skip's job.
7から8で C じゃん。7でいいんだよ。いや7で真ん中の時やばいから。8でも。いや8だとちょっと遅くない？ 同じだ7か8ぐらい。
あのね、あの黄色のね、内側ね、半分ぐらいになったら飛んでくるんだよね、中に。忘れるんだよ。
ああ、なるほどね。
白に書かれたら。
オッケー。オッケー。同じちょっとあるよ。待ちよ。
Not liking the weight of this one, the sweepers. Calling this 8. Will that be back 8 or 8 as in back 4? Definitely heavy either way. It's just going to rub off and roll for second shot. So indeed, it will be the same draw for Bruce Mount again to score another skips deuce. Did so in the first end. Okay, go ahead and do the same here in the third.
Just scared to push that too much. Don't be sure. No, I think you're okay on that.
Just making sure if they have backing.
Onto here.
The port is a bit snug, so it's tough to draw straight to the button.
Have you got the nose of that?
Wait, you've got an inch as well inside.
I think that's looking the easiest.
Yeah.
Who's shot?
We are.
You could just draw in, no?
Well,
You get here, okay.
yeah, I think that's there as well.
Okay. Throw for Cole, will I?
Yeah, give me.
That's the save.
That's fine.
Same weight.
Same weight.
Same weight.
So they're going to go with the same weight. This time they can activate those sweepers.
You can't really just hit hard top.
No.
Unless you're like 3/4, then you're fine.
Okay. Same weight. Same weight.
Careless. Weight's good though.
On you go then, Hammy.
Yep.
Can't
Line's
hurt
good.
the line.
Weight's good.
Hard line.
Line's good. Weight's good.
Whoa.
Weight's good.
Whoa.
Weight's good. Hard, Hammy.
Can even sweep this to the backing here. Will chisel off their own. I don't think push it too far though. Will set to score 2 here, Scotland. A perfect game plan so far. Score 2 force, score 2 back. It's 4-1 after 3 ends of play here in Las Vegas.
Good test roll.
ちょっと走ったかな。6号ぐらいで、多分8ぐらい、8、9ぐらい。13.9とか。
そうだね。
8。
相手のが 13.9 とか。13.3。ああ、ちょっと。
いいと思う。なんでだいぶ変わる。
そうね。
さあ、3点だ。もう1点取って、2点上げて、1点取って、2点上げて。
上げちゃダメですよ。
上げちゃうんですから。
うん、
確かに。そう。
チャンスはある。うん。
ね、いけそうです。
Welcome back to the 361 World Men's Curling Championship here in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Orleans Arena. Listening to myself, Sam Ditterlug, and I'm joined by Anne Swisshelm. So far, it's been a pretty good run for Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely textbook. They're hammer efficiency and their force efficiency at 100% here to open this game. And Koji Nisato, we get a look. His tournament accuracy. He's listed as their alternate. He's been playing quite a few games. It looks like they've hit a rotation that they're very comfortable with. But for Scotland, it's all about this lead here. 91%. He's atop the statistical standings for his position. You know, the interesting thing that's happening for Scotland here is that their third is not making a ton of shots so far, and Scotland is answering without much of a challenge at the skips position.
Let's jump on over to Germany, Korea. It is Germany lying 2 here. That's Korea and skip. Kim Chang-min will look to draw for 1. Increase their lead to 3-1. One of the favorites for the top 6, Korea. But they've had a bit of a rocky road so far. Lost a game to Switzerland on a burnt rock. It's really looking to bounce back from that. Try and win the remainder of their games. This draw is good, right on the button for Kim Chang-min. A 3-1 lead for Korea after 3 ends of play. Currently sitting on 3 wins, 5 losses, Korea, so can't really afford to lose much more.
Yeah, they need to hang on to that victory. And Ryotaro Shikuya trying to better the corner guard, the long corner guard thrown by his teammate. So they know that that long guard isn't going to be what is the difference maker for them. Scotland knows it's a troubled rock. So you've got Bobby Lammy. He's at 88%, and that's the #1 performing second in the field.
We'll go back to Netherlands, Canada. Canada lying 2, is it?
It's 2, and this is a precision draw needed for Jaap van Dorp to hold pace with Canada. He's got backing. He does have to navigate a rock in the top of the 8-foot, top of the 12-foot.
Well, a big sweep from the front end here to drag this as far as possible. I don't think it's going to get there. Just good enough for second shot, but still a steal of 1 for Canada. And they'll increase their lead to 3 shots to 1 after 3 ends. And quite a lot of Canadians coming in, more and more, as we get closer and closer to the playoff weekend. Almost have a feeling like not everyone felt like spending 10 days in Vegas. Maybe too dangerous walking through those casino floors for that long.
Yeah, 10 days in Vegas, that is pretty dangerous. It's also a pleasure for these guys out on the ice. The Orleans Hotel and the local organizing committee, fantastic hosts for all of the athletes and teams here. And for those of you who haven't decided yet, those last-minute weekend packages come on down. There's going to be lots of great curling. And there's a new playoff format this year. 6 teams. There's 13 teams here from around the world, and 6 teams make the playoffs. We've got quarterfinals, and the top 2 teams get a bye to the semis.
Oh, well, that just means we'll get 6 really interesting games. 2 quarterfinals, 2 semifinals, 1 gold and 1 bronze game.
Yeah, it's a great format. And Japan navigating some rock placement yet again.
Well, certainly shuffles the Redstones around here a wee bit.
Yeah, changes up the angles.
Don't mind that.
And for now, Grant Hardy being asked to remove the Yellowstone in the 8-foot try and roll. Buried underneath the Yellowstone top 12.
Nice barrier.
Touch heavy.
No, it's good.
Clean.
It's really good. Yeah, hard Bob. Hard Bob, gotta go. Gotta go, Bob. Gotta go, Bob.
Long roll, long roll.
Just over curling.
Whoa, you're good.
One. That rolls just a hair too far. And again, the production out of Grant Hardy stones is a bit of a challenge for Team Scotland. And after looking at the situation and talking to his front end, the skip's changed his mind.
Well, J.D. Lynn always taking notes.
Yeah, thinking about what they can do, where they need to make improvements. And they're back to the original shot call. You know, the unfortunate thing about that is that took a ton of time off their time clock, 'cause each team gets that 38 minutes of thinking time. So their clock runs while they're talking, while they're thinking. It's not a running clock. Once the stone gets put into play, the clock stops, but this has been quite a long time for Japan.
Well, see if that is time spent well Big sweep though from the front end here to drag the seal stone down towards this red shot stone in the forefoot, but this is pulling up way short. Can he get something out of it? Not much.
Think so.
Well, Scotland, they'll be pondering a bit. Let's hop over to Norway, Switzerland, where it's all tied at 3 points each. And it is Mark Fester, skip of Switzerland, looking to draw for one.
Yeah, he's got to navigate around a couple of stones, or the red stones from Norway.
Yeah, Norway lying 2, shot stone in the back 4. Do they curl enough? Get a big enough piece of the button? I don't think so. Just good enough for second, so that is a steal of 1 for Norway. They'll be up 4-3 after 4. As we see Scotland, they've made up their mind. I believe coming around those yellows, top 12. Really trying to put the pressure on Japan here. Big sweep by Bobby Lammy. Hammy McMillan dragged this past the yellows. Just about. What a sweep by the boys.
Incredible strength required for that sweep. Lammy and McMillan. And then they, you know, those deep recovery breaths, and the back end players, nice and calm. It's no sweat off their backs that the front end has just powered down the ice.
Well, I mean, the vocal cords take a strain.
Yes, they do. And you know what? The vocal cords help. We won't deny it. Anyone who's ever swept out there, you know when someone's yelling at you, you sweep harder. And Go Aoki, he needs real good sweepers, and they're on it right now. Nesato Shikuya trying to get around their own stone in the top of the 8-foot. Weight looks great. Oh, and they just tick. So close.
Yeah, and now could be big trouble for Japan. Scotland looking to remove that stone. Could make it very tough for Go Aoki to even score in this end. Might look to maybe just to play the nose hit here, take away the draw.
Yeah, there's no need for Scotland to roll at all. If they sit right on the nose, boy, Go Aoki has to either play some kind of crazy double run back triple takeout or draw around to the side of the pin to a spot.
Max?
Yeah, little heavy.
First, this needs to be made by Bruce Mowat.
Little heavy. Whoa. Hammy. Yes.
Calling on Hammy McMillan to try and hold the line straight. Indeed, the nose hit. What to do now for Japan?
Nice moves. Good sweep, buddy. Go good. Sweep.
これの方が強いからこういったらこういけばいい。
いや確実にこう
でこれでこっち側で
ワンチャンこれこうじゃん。
こうでそうそう。
Okay, well, the team had their conference. Their options are the double run, triple takeout, or the draw to the spot. And they've gone with the double run, triple takeout for 1 as their preferred shot choice.
Do you think it's there?
You know, I hope it's there because it'd be really great to see.
What we do know is Goeoki can throw enough weight for this. He's not the biggest guy in the field, but he certainly has some thrust coming out that hack.
Yeah, absolutely. All of his momentum goes right behind the stone. You see it there with that extension. Really smooth.
Right, what do you have here? Goeoki, 1, 2. Well, he gets in for second shot. I think that's a pretty good effort considering the situation there for Team Japan. It's tough to do much better. But it is Scotland now slowly running away with the game. 5-1 lead after 4 ends.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I could have upped it, we check in, we forced the draw, you got a heavy draw. No, I'm just saying that's hindsight, that's the only thing you could have done there. To make a shot even harder.
What's that?
3. Past it.
You're fine with it. Yesterday,
No, this is good, I think.
So if you look at it there, it's just above it, like.
Past over 3, aye. Fishy knows it as well, look at that, look at his reaction. Eh? Out of hand, aye. Yeah, me and Bob wanted to made it. Fishy knows it as well, look at that, look at his
There's
reaction.
a happy gaggle of Scottish fans in the stands as we get going in the 5th end of this game.
Nope.
I'd say probably the prize for best chance usually go to Scotland. They'll have a few lined up.
It's really good.
Canada is always biggest in numbers, but not always with the organized sing-song.
Yeah, the Scottish fans are motivated. They are coordinated. They are super proud and super loud.
And all the reason to be. Only lost 1 game so far, and they're looking good to pick up another win here. 5-1 over Japan. It's going to be an uphill struggle for the Japanese side, but quite a few ends left in the game. Germany plays Korea. Alexander Baumann, skip of the Germans, looking to play an open hit to score 1. Close up that scoreline, down by 2 at the moment. Nothing on it so far. Walter just lightly dusting as this stone will indeed settle in for 1. Korea is up 3-2 after 4.
And then our feature game, Scotland puts stones in great position once again to open the end. And Koji Nasato now being asked to throw the double corner guards. Japan is down by 4. They need to make a move on the scoreboard.
Close. No.
Never.
And the single peel is executed by Bobby Lammy.
This one will slip onto the rings for Japan.
Yeah, and Shikuya again having a little bit of trouble managing the weight, but with that 4-point lead, Scotland's going to make sure there is nowhere to hide for Japan.
Well, Bobby Lammy's shooting 97% for clearings, peeling guards.
Tried for you.
he's,
I just tried.
he's pretty good. They were hopeful. Bobby was hopeful to get that steep double.
Well, if they wanted to play, they could have played the slash. Not a huge risk in doing it. But Japan will be able to throw a guard and protect their yellow. Third shot on the wing. Pulls up a bit long. Well, Scotland peeled the guard earlier. We thought maybe they just peeled the guard again, but no. Grant Hardy will be looking to remove the stone in the house.
And he's okay rolling out a play. They prefer it. They don't want to leave anything to freeze next to underneath that long guard.
Ever guard with you first? You're last. Okay, so. Hey, you know you've got big enough weight too.
Well, that wasn't the
No. No.
That was the athlete too, was it?
We can hear Scotland contemplating to maybe throw a centre guard. At least Hammy McMillan was asking Grant Hardy, do we ever switch gears?
Yeah, I mean, they are sitting absolutely on top of the button, in front of the tee line, above the tee line. And with that Japanese stone going all the way to the tee line.
So double takeout for Jaap van Dorp. Not sure whose third shot, if this is just for one or for two. Will make the double, but kills her own back red, so definitely only for one. Still a pretty good shot by Jaap van Dorp, but they'll still trail by the single point. Canada's up 3-2.
Grant Hardy nicely executed that takeout of the Japanese stone.
はね動かさないといけない。オッケー。オッケー。オッケー。裏でいいんだよね。A プランは。オッケー。
And it's time for Japan to try and move the Scottish stones off the center of the ice, off the center of the scoring area.
Sit in front of me.
Yeah.
Nose, hair check.
Yeah, just control.
Okay.
Control down.
Okay. Perfect.
Good week! Oh, he's good! Good week! Whoa! Gotta go, Hammy. Gotta go, Hammy.
Through this a bit safe, Bruce Mowat
Edge of rock for control.
ends up rolling out.
Took that. Outside edge.
It's okay, Bruce. It's a lot. Just too much ice point, Bruce.
8でいい。9でも最悪吐けば入る。岩井のが7だったよ。ああ、ギリギリか。8で抑えばいい。今日走ってる人。いや、8や。
How to score your 2? That's the question.
Do you freeze to the stone in the top of the forefoot on the inside? Do you try the draw under the corner? There's a couple of options. They all involve Bruce Mowat missing with his next one.
You can see the camera from the coach's bench. It's quite normal to see the coaches tape all their games so they can go back and view certain situations. As we do see Japan drawing around the corner, we'd like to sit quite high in the house here, seeing how that guard is pretty long. Just enough to get in for second shot, really. Fully buried. That is a pretty good draw by Go Aoki.
There it is. It's pretty well hidden.
Even if you could come after it, there's a good chance you might run that yellow onto the catcher on the wing. So I think Scotland's going to draw in the line too.
Half round here.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, you can't play 12. It's there at 12.
Well,
if
he
you
might
want
play
to
skinny double. I know he's got to make it, but just thinking we're. Yeah.
And if you have to come here, it's like flirting with this.
I mean,
and it's
the 12 is there for fun.
here.
The 12 is there for fun if you want it.
Ah, it's tough, really tough.
Right
We're
this.
playing high side, eh? It's really tough.
You're past there. Right,
I think you're coming this
I
way.
like right here, boys.
there.
Yeah, there or right here. I know that's fine.
And there's
That's the other shot.
Dave Murdoch,
Still, yeah. Right there.
world champion,
That line, eh? I don't mind coming. I don't
silver
mind your shot.
medalist at the Olympics.
Okay, there.
No, you can come back 4 or 5. I'm good. I'm fine with
He's
that.
one of their national coaches. He's taking a look at the situation.
Well, you only probably want to be here if we can.
Just more weight. I'm fine with that, yeah.
You want to be closer to that as we can, eh?
Yeah, I think you're here.
Yeah.
Even back here is fine.
Just got to be in the 8 foot, eh? Yep. Nice, Les.
Red.
Okay, Bruce, you're not too much more on your last, though. Just have to cut the feet.
I think that's max.
We're trying to get as close to that.
We're
Right.
just off that line here, Harvey.
All right, okay, so I thought we were trying to go in behind the yellow.
Give me a hair less.
What's the call here?
Quarter. See what you're giving us.
Is it just drawing
Yep.
deep,
Yeah,
just so there's no double to stick for 2?
yeah, they're looking to draw deep.
Wait's good.
even if they level them up on the tee line, it's okay. This call gives them a window of success where you're trying to force Japan to a single point.
Well, this is coming up way short. So try and leave it as high as possible for second shot. That's going to work out just as nicely, really.
Yeah, they're the double is really tough. There might be a bit of a trick shot available if you but I think you lose your own. I think this is a hit. 4-1 for Go Aoki. Scotland with the excellent management of the angles and the options.
Well, if they didn't attempt the double in the second, I don't quite see them going for it here, even though they're 4 down. It will be the open nose hit for Go Aoki. Last stone, 5th end, down by 4. Hoping they'll only be down by 3 when they head into half-time. Sweeping this to keep it straight, looking good. Hit and stick, 1 point for Japan up on the board, but Scotland will lead this game 5-2 as the teams head in for a wee break. Chance for a snack and a talk with their coaches. They'll be back onto the ice in just a few moments. Scotland playing Japan first end. It is Bruce Mouat looking to score 2. Played a beautiful draw on the first one. Essentially a skips deuce for Scotland as this stone will settle in the forfeit. 2-0 after one end of play. Scotland does force Japan to score their 1 in the second end. And again, a skips deuce for Bruce Mouat. Good first draw. The second looking pretty good as well. Sweepers just trying to hold the line. Gets a slight chisel off their own. It is a 4-1 game after 3 ends of play. Big trouble for Japan in the 4th. Go Aoki looking for the big shot, trying to spill as many reds as possible. Scotland lying 3. Well, certainly able to move some granite, but it is a steal of 1 for Scotland, up 5-2 after 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go over to Norway, Switzerland. Look at all those red stones in around the house. It's 4. In fact, for Norway, Mark Pfister needing to draw for 1 before halftime to tie up this game. Looks to need just about full forfeit. Brother Enrico and Rafael Marchi looking pretty happy with it, just lightly sweeping this one in onto the tee line. And that is gold for Switzerland. It's a tied game over there, 4 points each at halftime. And those are all the scores in the Orleans Arena here in Las Vegas this evening. Canada up over Netherlands. Our game is a 5-2 affair for Scotland, while Korea is up 6-2 playing Germany, and as we just saw, Norway, Switzerland tied at 4 points each.
Let's keep scoring.
Oh, they're going to kind of try come hard, and then we're going to have counters, and then let's try and wrap it up.
Would you like going top four, top four?
Absolutely. I do, all right. ちょっとね、時間も使ってるから。
石の違いなさそう。石の速さの違い。見てて。4番だけちょっと重くて曲がりそうな感じがしたから1投目に投げてる。
Well, let's take a look at the stats. You can see the total percentages for Scotland, quite a bit higher than Japan. And that also shows on the scoreboard, really, just better than Japan overall, just for draws and hits. And of course, that one stolen point as well, 5-2 lead. But there's still a second half in this game for Japan to turn it around. More curling to come here from Las Vegas. There are the Scottish fans, some of them anyway.
Yeah, and legendary wheelchair curlers Aileen Nielsen and Michael McCready enjoying the game. Aileen just back from the Paralympic Games in South Korea.
Yeah, the Scottish fans certainly outcounting the Japanese this evening, but this young side looking pretty comfortable out there, even though they are a couple of points down on the Scots. Looking for a centre guard here in the 6th end to get them going. We're going to need to put some pressure on Scotland. So far it's been quite the opposite. Go Aoki having to make some big shots to keep Japan in the game.
Oh, and little Hammy McMillan down a couple of percentage points from his average, but
It's really tracking. Take it back.
We're all right back there.
it's not been a problem for Scotland. But here's a little bit of a mistake all the way back to the back of the 12-foot. That's going to give Japan some options.
Well, we do see the ice technicians mop the sheet at halftime, put some pebble in around the hack. Sometimes you see the players just come out the hack a bit quicker, and the ice might speed up a wee bit as well. Seen that quite a few times this week, and also in past championships.
Yeah, so for all you young players at home, when you get out there for your first arena game and the ice technicians are taking good care of the playing surface, know that that 6th end after the break, the ice is going to get about half a second quicker.
Also personally, might not apply to all players, but it does tend to get a little bit flat around the hack. There's a lot of stress on the ice there, so when they put that extra pebble on, sometimes you just come out the hack just a bit quicker as well.
Yeah, the surface feels a little different than you've been used to, and you make that adjustment, and the ice is quicker, and your rock slips to the back of the 12-foot, and that could be what happened to Hammy McMillan on his first.
We're really close to 14-2. Yeah.
He makes pretty good adjustment there. Maybe a little bit deep.
There you see the pebble and the ice.
So the ice is perfectly level. It's perfectly level, but it's not perfectly flat. So the pebble are little drops of water that they put down on the ice. It's what makes it possible for the rocks to move left and right, right to left based on the rotation in combination with the running surface of the stone.
And what would happen if the ice was completely flat?
Well, the stone would just suction down onto the ice. It would be very difficult to move those 42 plus pounds worth of granite down the ice.
Too much friction. Well, it's kind of like if you ever played shuffleboard in a pub, that sand they sprinkle.
Yeah, when you're out of the sand.
If there's no sand, goes flat, nothing happens. Kind of the same in curling. Although the pebble does tend to change quite a lot through 2 to 3 hours of curling.
Yeah, one of the great skills for these players out here is managing that, knowing how many rocks have gone down a path, how much play has happened. So with each subsequent rock, the speed might change. At some point, the ice gets faster, and then after a point, you're wearing down the pebble too much, it starts to slow down, and your awareness, management, and adjustment to the ice surface really critical to your shot-making success. So Japan being pretty brave here. Lots of center guards, a long one, a tight one. They're forcing everything they've got as we take a look over at Netherlands and Canada. They're playing on sheet A. And the setup is pretty good for Canada. They're sitting 1 and 2. And this is their skip's last stone. Brad Gushu's rock being taken care of by Jeff Walker and Brett Gallant. They are just cleaning, and that rock goes all the way to the button. That's 3 points on the board. It's a 4-point lead for Canada after 5. When those rocks are a little bit close together.
3/4 is okay. I think it was like that. Wee bit thicker than that.
Yeah, a bit thicker.
The double peel available for Grant Hardy.
Nice.
And that is beautifully executed. Perfect management of the angles, and Grant Hardy makes the double peel, loses the shooter. Here you see it. No problem.
Such a weapon to have on any team. It's kind of a weapon all teams really need, especially at this stage, at this level.
Yeah, and to know that you have it up and down the lineup for Scotland at every position, that up weight and that touch weight capability.
Well, one thing is acquiring points, taking a lead, but then it's also to defend that lead, just as important.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to put the granite into play, and you also have to know how to get rid of it when you need to.
Yeah, every end's not going to be all rosy, so you'll have to be able to bail out when needed.
Every end is not all rosy. That is absolutely true. And that's why we keep coming back, right? Because even though it's the same number of stones, the dimensions don't change. Every end is unique. Every end is a challenge on some level. And it is just, it's a beautiful thing though when you do get the rosy end.
Under.
Oh, Scotland does have shot stone.
Oh, and they get the bonus.
Wow. Look at that.
Wow, when things are going your way. You know, some people would call that lucky. You got a little lucky there, but you create your own luck. And Scotland does a great job. Look at Bruce Mowat just waiting right there, ready to sweep that stone in. He knew it was a possibility.
That poses a new problem for Japan. Quite a few reds in the house. One lonely yellow, no guards. I think they're going to need to have a chat about this.
Yeah, and I feel like it might be a time for their coach to come out, but we'll see what they end up with. And young Go Aoki, I think, trying to play the angle tap. Maybe freeze down in here.
Well, not quite for Go Aoki. You see the first call for Scotland here. Maybe make the double on the yellows.
Third's still good.
That's what they're talking about.
What is it?
Third rock.
Double. Third still makes it.
Third makes it.
Okay, Bruce.
Can you stick it?
You want me to play control?
You can stick
No,
it
no,
up there, Bruce.
no, no.
I don't know that Scotland really wants to stick it here, because that might create a pocket.
Well, if they can spin it up onto the 12-foot.
Well, no, just keep it around the rings is different than sticking the double. So I'm thinking you don't want to necessarily stick right there. But
What is it, quarter stone? Does that stick it?
I don't think you can stick it.
Don't think you can stick it, okay.
Talking about sticking, I'm not sure if that is the main goal here.
Let's make it in.
yep, nope.
Get the 2 yellows, you'll be lying 3. It's pretty good already. Of course, if you can keep the shooter in the ring somewhere, could be pretty good as well. What does he have here, Bruce Mowat? 1 and 2, and will he stick the shooter as well? Of course he will. Spins that up to the 12-foot on the left.
Absolutely
Scotland,
beautiful.
they're sitting 4. Just perfect. Exactly what they were talking about. That's what you could hear Hammy McMillan was asking about. That's what he wanted, to see that shooter stick around, but not leave a pocket like you mentioned, Anne, but just spin away and leave as much separation as possible. Just beautiful.
Oh, and that's a little inside. You saw Go Aoki might have dropped his hand a little bit, but guys sweep it right away. Hold that line out of his hand. Did they sweep too much?
This make or break right here for Team Japan. This needs to be there.
It's got to be perfect.
It's not a bad try, but that's probably not good enough.
That is likely not good enough.
So how accurate do you want to be here, Bruce Mowat? You could definitely make the double off your own for 3, but you can also clean pick it. You score 4. Either way, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, the first responsibility is make that Japanese stone disappear.
Nice throw.
I think this is where you probably throw it to hit half a rock, and you can probably try and sweep it to catch it thinner if you're safe. No need to risk anything here.
Gotta go, Bobby. Gotta go.
On the way down. will indeed make that double. Should rolls out, but it's good for 3. Good shot by Bruce Mowat, and it's an 8-2 game after 6 ends here.
Nice, good job. Good boys. Good. Nice. Good.
Top 4 through.
絶対1点取る1点